divine souls. How are y'all doing tonight? Welcome back for Thursday Tea and Tarot. It is so great to be here with you tonight. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be in this space, to be here. I'm going to start us off with prayer. Divine Holy Spirit, the Most High God, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides of the highest white light, thank you so much for today. And thank you for having us always connect with ourselves. Thank you for our internal compass that provides us with messages and direction and guidance. Thank you for your protection and your guidance throughout the day. Thank you for just speaking to us, Divine Holy Spirit, during the times that we may have struggled throughout the day. Thank you for a word. Thank you for a way of direction. Thank you for divine wisdom that keeps us sane, that keeps us strong, that keeps us going, that keeps us afloat. Thank you for your divine presence in our lives. Thank you for the sacred connection that each and every one of us share with you, that keeps us divinely guided on our path. Divine Holy Spirit, tonight I just ask to be used as a pillar of light to deliver sacred, clear, and true, honest messages in alignment with the collective soul's growth and their highest good. I thank you for all of the benevolent ancestors and angels and spirit guides who will come into this sanctuary to deliver sacred, clear, and true, honest messages to all those who are seeking. God, I'm so thankful that whenever it is that we choose to seek out you, that you always answer us. That there is never a moment in time where you have turned your back on us or turned your face from us. I'm thankful that I can arise and I can call out for divine support and divine help whenever and however I need it. And so I'm thankful. I'm thankful for having breath in my body. I'm thankful to be here today. I'm thankful for good health. I'm thankful for a way out of the struggle. I'm thankful for the divine strength that my circumstances does not determine how I will be or who I am, and that I can move boldly and courageously above and through it all. Bless this space, anoint this space, let this be your dwelling place. In your great name, I pray and we say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Hey y'all, how y'all doing tonight? How are y'all doing? I'm so thankful to be here. Just take a moment. I don't know if you had a moment to pause. I feel like I came home from work and I had a moment to pause, but right now, like right now as I sit, and I even spent time preparing to be in the space, but literally in this very moment, I'm just thankful for silence, okay? I'm thankful for sacred and divine connection. I'm thankful for this moment right here, right now, to say, oh God, thank you for us to be in communion with one another. I'm thankful that I don't have to go 1,000,001 places to seek your guidance, that I can pause and be in the stillness and receive all that it is that I need from you. I don't know who this is for, so it's going to resonate with who it resonates with, but I don't know if you use the Rose of Jericho. I personally like to use it. I like to put it within a space. I like to put coins in it, put some money in it, and then I water it and I nurture it. And when the Jericho is sprouting, I am connecting to abundance, blossoming and blooming in my life. And so if you have been, I don't even want to say just money. For somebody, I think this is money because I just saw patchouli, and patchouli for me is a tool for money. But I'm also sensing, like, if you're looking for emotional sustenance, and so what I mean by that is if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with depression. For somebody, like, you need to take a probiotic because your stomach isn't quite digesting the food and it's holding on to fat, and so you have a lot backed up and stored inside of you. And so if you're looking for like a gut cleanse or gut flush, some type of cleansing, a detox, thank you, a detox, that Rose of Jericho would also help as well. Think of it as the Rose of Jericho being an extension of yourself, an extension of you nourishing and watering yourself. And literally you can see the Rose of Jericho come into full bloom, like a blooming onion. You ever got those before? It'll look like that. It'll even change color. It'll go from being extremely dark and dry and brown to like luscious green. Yeah, it's for me. Luscious green. But it is saturated in water when I use it. So I don't know who that is for. But if you've been sending out a prayer for divine help, then that's for you. Get it, Rose of Jericho. Okay, get the Rose of Jericho. Yes, get the Rose of Jericho. That gut cleanse it's linked to, not the gut cleanse, the gut itself. It's like when you're stressed, right? Oftentimes, I don't want to say oftentimes, I'm just say what I mean. Your body, when it experiences stress, no matter how intense it is, the level of intensity, whether it's only a 1 level of stress or a level 10, but any level of stress, your body, for those who are experiencing it in their gut, your body is taking all of those, like all of that stress and then pulling it into your gut. It's storing it there. And so you may have noticed that you're a bit more bloated, or you aren't going to the bathroom as frequently or as often, or when you do go, if you're paying attention to your body, it's yours, right? If you're paying attention to your body, then you're like, oh, that looks different than how it looks the last couple times. So just, it's yours, right? Like everything is you are you. So pay attention to your body, pay attention to your gut, but your body is taking that stress, and then I heard turning it into fat cells in your gut. And so your gut is beginning to like store it in all of these pockets around the belly, and even like a fupa. If you have like this pocket in the front of fupa, yeah, it's stress. I feel like for whoever it is also connecting with, you may have noticed that women in your family, women in your bloodline, okay, because there are too many things, one thing at a time, please. That the women in your family may have struggled with the same thing, but the men in your family may have like colon problems. Like it for them, it was their colon, but for the women, it was the gut area. But it was all linked to the same thing. It's just that how the masculines and the feminines in your family's bodies responded, but mostly they responded in almost the same kind of way, and how it is that it is taking fat and then storing it, which when not taken care of over time can lead to bigger issues. And so spiritually, to help get the Rose of Jericho, physically to help do a gut cleanse, do a colon cleanse, do a cleanse to clear you out. Yeah. Okay. That's that message. What a good opener. What a good opener. What a good opener. What a good opener. Yeah, all right. That was that. That was that. I got 2 decks standing out. Hi, Natty. How you doing? How you doing, girl? I'm just gonna collect this message for now. Hi, Sierra. Almost done working on that paper. Yes, girl. All right, I guess I got to do what they told me to do because I tried to shuffle and it was like, no. What's the tea for today? The tea for today is we're going to be in divine time with the ancestors. They giving me a spread. So tonight's readings, I don't know if I'll actually get to personals. I'm going to try my best, but they want me to do a spread. So I'm going to do the spread that they are pulling me to. And the first question is, how does my ancestors see me at this time? Please remember that this is a general message, so take what resonates and leave what does not, okay? Oh shit, you talking about your tea? What was the tea for today? A blackberry, some type of black tea. It was good. It was a black tea. I know that shit was good. I finished it. And it helped to regulate me because I definitely went to the bathroom. It was a good tea, so thank you very much for my calendar. How does my spirit team view me at this time? Did you know that you could be healing and progressing all at the same time? How do my ancestors view me? How does my spirit team view me at this time? And they said, well, baby, I see you doing the work. I see you healing, okay, doing the hard work, healing the heart, mending the heart. I see you building you up and fixing you up. I see you progressing and making the changes that you need to make to move forward. How do I know this? Because they gave me affirmations for positive change. I'm trying to show it on all 3 screens at the same time. Not gonna happen. Affirmations for positive change and affirmations for healing the heart. Now, one of the challenges I can see during this time is learning to flow. Emotions are so fluid, and so they're constantly in motions, always moving, always flowing. 1 minute feeling this way, another minute feeling this way. Oh, I'm being reminded of that. In this moment, my spirit team just was like, and this is why you have had this particular student this week. Because you are learning to flow with your emotions. She's been so emotional this week. So emotional, I mean crying. Like deeply feeling her feelings, which she wasn't doing before. She was deeply feeling anger. But she didn't know how to handle sadness. So she would turn her sadness would automatically transition into anger. But now she's not angry. She's like really feeling the sadness. And it's an overwhelming feeling for her because it's a feeling that she's not used to and she doesn't know what to do with it. Today she actually was like, slowing, and I was like, breathe. Take a breath. She's like, I can't breathe. She's like pulling on her collar. And I was like, baby, you can breathe. If you're talking to me right now, you are breathing. And she's like, I think I need some water. And I'm like super proud of her for recognizing things that would help to calm her down. But like, that lasted for a while, and then she was able to move into another energy. So energy is in motion. One of the things that you could be struggling with is allowing those emotions to just pass, to feel them fully when they're present, and to let them go, to release and let them go when it's time to let them go, so that you can flow into something else. And knowing that allowing yourself to feel the emotion, whatever that emotion is, I'm not putting a title on it, but allowing yourself to feel the emotion fully and deeply and wholly allows you to go through the transformation process. it is the healing process. So your ancestors, your guides, your spirit team sees you actively healing, actively working to better yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is that you have chosen. It doesn't matter if you're moving extremely fast or extremely slow. What matters is that you are extremely present in the moment to fully experience. Okay. What I like is, right, I'm like staring at the card because the black cat caught my attention, and black cat for me is a guardian, right? A guide. And so I noticed the black cat kind of staring at me, which drew me to the picture. And then when I was staring at the picture, I heard like, ahoy, 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 like, hey, hey. Okay. I don't know if this is true for you, but just go with me for a moment on this journey. Imagine that there has been an emotion, right? A particular emotion that has been trying to pass through you. That there has been a particular emotion that you have been, or that has been wanting your company on this journey. But whenever this emotion comes up, and this emotion is specifically linked to a certain situation, and so that you would think about this situation, it would trigger an emotion, and you can feel yourself feeling something, but you don't really accept the feeling, and so you reject the feeling, and in rejecting the feeling, you turn away from feeling it. And let's say you've been doing that for a while now. Let's say for the past 4 months. Just saying, right? For the past 4 months, you have been being like, oh, I feel it. Oh, I don't like it. It's making me feel whatever, uncomfortable, whatever it is, right? Just go on this journey with me. And so you decide to continue to push it away. However, when I heard the, something that you have been avoiding so much, it's like you've been turning away from this thing, whether it's an emotion, some type of remembrance, something. You've been turning your back on it. I don't want to feel it. It's too much, right? Yeah, that's what it's too much. And so, no. I see your spirit team leading you on this journey. But the ahoy, ahoy, ahoy is actually coming from the emotion itself. Like, hey, I've been trying to pass through you for a while so that I can free up some space and allow the waters to flow through. Because now I'm seeing, you know how outside of like, oh, what am I seeing? Like, okay, this is a rock, or this is a rock, and then the water falls, and then this is another holding space, and then the water falls. Okay, right? So I'm seeing this emotion going, hey, we've been avoiding this for so long that we have now stopped the water from flowing all the way from the very top. So the source of where the emotions are flowing from, they're not flowing as fluidly because we've been avoiding this particular emotion. And so you're actually being called. And what I'm seeing is that when you allow yourself to feel it and go through it, you'll be like, oh, it wasn't even that bad. Right, Sierra? It's being avoidant when it comes to your emotions, right? Like your avoidant behaviors. And this could be like adding more things. So instead of feeling the emotion, I know when I lost my children, I did not want to experience the sadness. I did not want to mourn my children. And so I avoided and replaced that feeling with working. I overworked. I was I worked. I went to school during the day. I worked a job after school. I worked 2 jobs after school. Let's because I worked 2 jobs after school, and then I worked an overnight job. So I ensured that I was not getting any time alone, because anytime I was alone, the loss of my children was so prevalent in my life that it was the only thing that I would think about, which would automatically trigger sadness. And I knew that I didn't want to be sad, and I didn't really want to face it because it felt like it was too much for me to bear. And so I drowned myself in work. I drowned myself in work, which ended up being unfulfilling anyway. And I had to face the emotions anyway, at a later time, of course. But now I was extremely exhausted from working out and completely fucking sad. So whatever it is that you have been avoiding in your own life, I want to assure you that you have all of the skills that you need to feel everything that you need to feel. You won't get stuck in that place. You won't get lost in that place. That you will allow yourself to feel it, to go through it, and to feel all of it, and that you will come out on the other side. I just heard the Lord's Prayer. Like, as I was thinking about that, I heard the Lord's Prayer, like going through this emotional tunnel. I don't even know what to call it. I'm just seeing someone on a boat and literally about to enter into a tunnel, but it's black as fuck. They're like, I don't want to go in there because I don't know what's in there. And so before they enter into this space, they begin to say the Lord's Prayer. Yea, though I walk through this valley of the valley of death, I will fear no evil. Rest my shoulders and my side. Comfort me. One of the things that you may be struggling with is comfort, right? When I go into this emotional space, or when I allow myself to feel the emotion, I am completely consumed with this emotion, so much so that I feel no comfort, that there is no relief, right, in that feeling. I know grief just felt so heavy that no matter which way I looked, I couldn't see happiness. I just couldn't. And honestly, I didn't even want to. There were times where I didn't even want to. I didn't care. That's the truth. I did not care. But in the Lord's Prayer, right, it says like, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, like providing me with strength and guidance. So you can rest assured, you can bet your bottom dollar that during your time of need, that you will be comforted and you will be guided, that you can allow yourself to feel, and that although you may be going through it alone physically here, right? You may be in your bedroom by yourself. You may be in your living room by yourself. That you may be in a physical space by yourself, but spiritually, you are surrounded in love. And in the midst of while you're releasing and letting go, you may not feel that comfort, or you may. Like, you may feel it you may feel at one point, oh, someone loves me. You may even be able to identify exactly, I'm seeing red and blue, if that matters for anybody. I'm also seeing ribs. I mean, like barbecue spare ribs. That may be someone's message, whatever. That you are comforted and that you are supported. But if you don't feel it during the process, it's because they just want you to feel it and to let it go. And that when you come up out of it, that you will feel that strength, that you will feel that support, that you will feel that courage. You will feel that guidance. But you gotta feel it in order to heal it. And be graceful with yourself. Take your time. Take your time, divine. Yeah. And the ways in which you've been and the ways in which you have been ungrounded and disconnected from yourself, the truth is that allowing yourself to finally feel what it is that you need to feel and go through what it is that you know internally you need to go through, you will be freed. That feeling, it will lead to the divine healing that you are seeking, the emotional release. Oh, thank you. And the reason why you feel so disconnected with yourself is because the connection comes, like, connecting with yourself is recognizing that you need to experience the feeling, whatever that feeling is, again, because it's different for everybody, but that you need to experience that feeling. And then it'll be like magic. You'll be like, oh my God, I feel so renewed. I feel so restored. I feel like myself. That's what I hear. I feel like myself. And yes, of course, because you've allowed yourself to process and go through what it is that you needed to go through instead of avoiding it, knowing that you're going to have to face it anyway. Okay, so how does your ancestors see you? That was a lot. How does your spirit team see you at this time? They see you healing it to feel it. They see you making positive changes, moving forward. I want to ask, because it says, what are my best qualities? But my real question is, what is serving you well at this time? I guess we're keeping this deck. What is serving you well at this time? Hey, Robina, how you doing? How are you doing, goddess? What is serving the collective well at this time? There's a song tonight. Gonna put up both shoes and something, and just enjoy yourself. Cause why is writing on the wall, bouncing off the wall? I know it's a Michael Jackson song. Music on the wall, something like that. But it's about having a good time, right? It's about enjoying yourself. It's about enjoying life. And then the card underneath, the one that came out, is joy and delight. So one of the things that is serving you well at this time is being open to joyfulness. It's an attitude of gratitude. It is waking up joyfully. It is shifting your energy. It is recognizing where you are and going, but this is how I want to feel. It is being in control of your emotions, or control, or Lord, what are y'all doing? Directing them. Thank you. In a way that is fulfilling and purposeful for you. Right? But what's serving you well right now is doing the things that make you happy. Taking care of yourself. Whatever lights you up, it's doing those things. Like, I really like Christmas lights, right? Like, it's off the wall. That's what it's Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Me singing the song all wrong. I really like Christmas lights, and today was a rough day at work. And I don't want to say it was a rough day. It was overstimulating. It was overwhelming. There were so many parts. Like, I'm teaching, and there is someone crying for 45 minutes straight. It was overwhelming. It was overstimulating for me. There were too many things happening at one time, and I couldn't, like, catch myself. But I noticed, man, if I was feeling that way, I knew my students were feeling that way. So, you know, grace. We laughed, we played, we had a good time, right? Shifting the energy. My students taught me how to shift the energy in that moment. Right? That's an example of like one of the things you do well. Not being stuck in an energy, right? Because I could have been like, yo, I said sit down and be quiet. Ain't nobody doing the work. Be quiet. But instead, I'm like, yo, Loretta, look at them. They're laughing. Like, why are you so tight? Like, get it together. Bring a little bit of happiness and joy into your life. But I could have been so upset that I'm like, no, I don't want that, God. Keep your happiness over there. And sometimes we get like that, right? Sometimes we can be so deep in whatever it is that we're feeling that, get your laughter away from me, okay? I haven't had my coffee yet. Anywho, but doing the work spirit guides are seeing serves you well. And so if you've been doing things like, if you've been calling them cheat days, or you've been calling them, oh, I'm taking a day off. Spirit's like, no, you're not taking a day off. You are instead taking care of yourself. You are instead doing the things that make you happy. You are instead being graceful towards yourself. You know that when you feel like you're on this self, that you need some leeway and you need some balance in your life. So that's what Spirit is seeing. So that's what Spirit is seeing. Spirit is seeing that's working for you is your wisdom. I said wisdom, they said wit. Okay? I said your wisdom, they said wit. Your wit. Something else Spirit said is serving you well is your groundedness. What do I mean when I say that? Because maybe you were an overthinker. Maybe you were an overthinker. And so now you are, give it to me right, Lord. Give it to me so that I understand and I communicate it right. Because I don't just want to say you're not overthinking, but it's like you're taking a breath. And that grounds you. And so that small action of just taking a breath stops the overthinking. And that is serving you really well. Because before, when you would go back and forth about a choice or a decision, that one breath allows you to be present and to be clear and to make a choice without there being too much noise behind the choice that you're making. Like maybe you didn't really trust the choices that you were making before. And so now you're working on trusting in the choices that you're making. And so that breath of just, I'm going to choose this thing, I'm going to go this way, and sticking with it and not judging yourself for doing it, it's serving you well. So shout outs to you. Another thing that's serving you well, they got some things that are serving you well. I like this, an attitude of gratitude, enjoying your own sacred pleasures, taking a deep breath and grounding yourself, but also cleansing yourself. Being intentional about your energy is serving you well. I don't care. Thank you, Spirit. I appreciate that, because you may be listening and then going, but I'm not doing it to the level that I want to be doing it. And God said, but remember, previously you weren't doing it at all. And so the fact that you're doing it now, that's a reason to celebrate. Okay? So the fact that you are now even thinking about your spiritual hygiene is important, and Spirit is saying that is serving you well. Right? Being intentional when you're taking your showers, of cleansing your body and cleansing your energetic field, and before you're walking out the door, covering yourself being aware of other people's energies and the places and spaces you will enter into and you will not enter into. It is serving you well. And so shout outs to you. Shout outs to you. Okay. The next question. I don't even want to change the energy. The energy is so nice. Why is the next question, how do I stand in my own way? How am I self-sabotaging? Like, who came up with these questions? The first two questions were so bomb, and the answers are so bomb. Whatever. Look at me. Not wanting to look into my own self-sabotaging. All right, Spirit. How do we stand in our own way? Can I have one? What you speak, what you say about yourself, what you pour into yourself. Okay, I wasn't going to keep these, but then I guess I have to. How do I stand in my own way? And the card that came out was Speak Your Mind. So saying what is true for you. And then I just heard authenticity and integrity. And so speaking your truth, being your truth, living your truth. Not what is true for what others expect of you or want of you, but what is true for you. And when you're not right in this space with yourself, in this sacred connection with yourself, when you're not authentic with you, when you're not honest with you, when you're not true to you, it impedes your growth and your healing. That's why. And that's a uno. 2. Second wave. How do I stand in my own way? Emotions. Because there's like flashing books in front of me, but I don't know all of these books. But overall, I will say this. The books that they showed me, all of the books have in common of how your body remembers what it is that you have been through and how it keeps record and it stores the emotional and physical responses, and that when you don't face them, how they can impede you in the future. And so one way of standing in yourself is to avoid your own emotions, which is avoiding you. Which is why, like earlier, I talked about like running away from these emotions. So, I mean, that makes sense that being a blockage, because it was a blockage early in the reading. But how you are so powerful and so strong, and how you can use transmutation, right? It's like one of the things that you think is actually a blockage for you or a hindrance for you is actually a weapon. It's like you thought this was going to hurt you or harm you, but actually it taught you what you're capable of. One of the things that you may recognize about yourself or learn about yourself is your ability to transmute energy. I also feel like, thank you, Spirit. I also feel like, right, this isn't a blockage. Well, I don't know. I'll let them say. I also feel like there's a particular spirit guide, right, who is teaching you or has been trying to communicate with you, and they're showing me the color turquoise. Yeah, turquoise is the color. And this person could be a spirit that has really been trying to teach you how to be in tranquil energy. And so they come during these emotional upsets, and during this time they're like trying to coach you and provide you with skills and strategies that would help you to shift the energy, so that like literally you could go from being hot to cold. Again, I don't know how best to say that, but yeah. So there's like sacred wisdom connected with this, because there is a particular guide that's actually working with you to heal emotionally. And then another way of self-sabotaging, or how you are standing in your own way, is not believing that you are capable or powerful enough to bring your own dreams into a reality. Oh, that was the water card. I forgot to show the water card. And then the last card is follow your dreams. Another way of how you self-sabotage, and the crystal ball is like a phone call, is to ignore the call. The same way in which you would avoid the internal guidance, those emotions that we talked about earlier, is a way of sabotaging you and moving forward in the future and being open to new things, or just allowing yourself to create new space in your life. That also can be done with dreams, when you choose to ignore the call. For somebody, and I don't know who this is, I think this literally could be for one person specifically, or whoever, you may have seen it, but I think you saw shooting stars. And I think maybe even when you were little, or at some point, you wished upon a shooting star, that you would be guided to a place. Like somebody asked for something, like, I can hear it playing in my head. Dear God, I wish I was a bird so I could fly far, far away. I don't know if there's anything else to that, but I can hear that. And so it's like, maybe you prayed for something in the midst of your struggle for God to give you something, but because you're not going through that struggle anymore, it's like you don't really remember what you asked God for, but God is still asking you of that thing, even though you're not in those same circumstances. And so you may have asked God, right? And Forrest Gump, she said, "Dear God, I wish I was a bird so that I can fly far, far away." But she wanted to fly far, far away, right? Because her dad was like an alcoholic or a drunk. And so she wanted to leave that space, and she wanted to travel, and she wanted to go far. She wanted to have new experience, right? So let's say that's the situation. But God didn't ask her to leave until she was 32, after she done already settled into that town and got married. And now God's like, "Hey, I want you to get up and leave." And she's like, "Well, why do you want me to leave now when I've gotten comfortable here?" It's like that same kind of situation, right? I'm not saying it's the same exact thing, but it's like that. It's like, oh, I asked for this when I was little. God delivered me up out of that. I've started something new. And now that I've started something new, God is calling me. This is a phone call. "Hey, I want you to do this thing. I want you to bring this dream into reality." And it's almost like the receiver of the call is like, "But why would I do that now?" And that's the self-sabotage. And I think it's understanding, like, do you only want the blessing when you're going through a struggle, or is a blessing just a blessing? Does a blessing only feel good because you're coming up out of something, or is it a blessing because of whom it's coming from? That's not for me to answer. That's for you to answer. You don't know. let's see. We're going to end with the best advice moving forward. Can I pull that card now? Because I'm kind of... The best advice moving forward is to be open to change and transformation, to be open to new things, and to walk with your head held high into the direction which you are being called faithfully and confidently. To learn from life and not to allow past experiences to boggle you down or bring you down or weigh you down, but to allow them to be experiences where you have experienced growth. And you can take those skills to move forward and experience new things. What symbol is that? Yeah. That's the message. That is the collective message. And I am thankful. I'm thankful. That was nice. I never know what I'm going to get when I come here. I always get what I get, and I'm always thankful to experience it. I'm always thankful to experience it. I'm just gonna close it. Thank you all for tuning in to Thursday Tea and Tarot. That was a collective message. That was definitely, that was a new spread. I don't know how y'all felt about that. That was new. I've never done that before. Divine time with your spirit guides. They have 5 questions, but I'm going to do the 5th question, and I'm going to do the 5th answer in the Infinite Healing Circle. So I'm going to go over there. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to give thanks to the Most High God, to our angels and ancestors and spirit team for providing this sacred space of healing, love, growth, and abundance. Thank you for allowing us to be vulnerable in this space, Divine Holy Spirit, and to receive your divine word so that we may be set free from the bondage of which we have binded ourselves, whether that be physically, emotionally, or spiritually. I thank you for revealing within us that which is holding us back and that which we are doing amazing. And thank you for the ability to transform and transmute energy. And thank you for the mirror that allows us to see us for who we really are, and to walk with our heads held high, and to just be, and to bask in your glory. Thank you for today, and thank you for forever and always. In your great name, I pray and I say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see y'all later. Peace. Tonight. And just enjoy